reacting to 10 things that Kim Jong-un owns. From Med Labs, this came out a little bit ago. After this, guys, or before this is over with, we're going to have to cut this off and go to the cable news network. I already have the camera set up on the TV for that because it's more important. Okay, so now we're going to watch this. Med Labs.
But at the same time, his powers are limited by the Constitution, and he can dispose of the private property of citizens. The American president rules the country, but doesn't own it. In North Korea, everything is different.
The opposite.
This country is considered a socialist one. That is, that there is no private property. Everything belongs to the state. And the country, in turn, practically belongs to Kim Jong-un.
Going you on his blood.
Moreover, in North Korea, there's no opposition, no political power other than Kim Jong-un. So if he possesses something, it's not as a state official, but as its actual owner. Therefore, in 2013, Forbes magazine put Kim Jong-un in 46th place of the most influential people in the world, and in 3rd place for influential Koreans. So it's not surprising
they had
that
to.
this odious man, thanks to his position of power, has a lot of crazy things
He's supposed to be about my
the
age.
majority of celebrities nor many multi-billionaires could dream of. And we've compiled a list of the 10 most amazing objects.
Let's see what he got here.
Let's go.
You see
What
here.
about, for example, the free use of military equipment as escort vehicles? No,
You see what we got here, what we can actually get our hands on here in the U.S.
This is just another whim of the country's Secretary General. Powerful armored personnel carriers were used by Kim Jong-un for personal protection during a visit to the Vietnamese capital, Hanoi. All these vehicles did, with machine guns on the roofs, was patrol the area around the elite Malia Hotel. It's funny to think that the Vietnamese military were instructed to protect these armored personnel carriers from excessive attention of passers-by and tourists. As a result, these specialized military vehicles were simply photographed as part of the background at this exotic location. After all, Kim Jong-un had used such powerful military equipment.
Kim Jong-un's an ass.
Escort. In fact, the Secretary
Those are
General
old
of
Russian.
North Korea has a number of military ranks and titles, but with no combat experience, he simply gave them to himself. In addition to those armored vehicles, he was also guarded by 30 regular vehicles in a motorcade, including his personal armored limousine, around which his bodyguards amusingly run along outside. Yeah, it may seem ridiculous.
Shoot his head off.
This armored limousine is constantly accompanied by a dozen guards who run alongside it on their own.
Poison
Is
the
building an
asshole.
armored limousine with bodies stupid? Maybe so, but the task of these guards is something different. These young men are used not to protect the limousine itself, but rather to constantly monitor the surroundings as well as replace tracking drones. So why was it necessary to include such powerful vehicles in your guard, especially when visiting a friendly country? Do you think this is just a way to demonstrate North Korea's strength?
Those are Russian vehicles.
Kim Jong-un's distrust? Or is he just too afraid for his own safety? What we have next suggests the latter. Whilst ordinary citizens of the country huddle in small apartments, Kim Jong-un is constantly changing mansions and leaving from one to another. There are 2 reasons for this. Firstly, the state has exclusive ownership of all real estate, so it's incredibly difficult to buy or sell housing. Property can only be obtained from the state, and the state is run by Kim Jong-un. Therefore, he can build himself anything he wants, anywhere he wants to. This makes
No, you
counting
can't.
the number of mansions owned by Kim Jong-un impossible. Impossible? Well, moving on. Kim Jong-un regularly changes his place of residence, not only because of his love for luxury and
Damn.
nature, but also because he is very
Pink.
paranoid. Rumor has it the North Korean leader is terrified of assassination attempts, and so moves constantly from one place to another just to make him difficult to track. Foreign journalists cannot receive information freely in the country, and local media doesn't really do freedom of speech. North Korean newspapers can only print what the government permits. This makes a list of Kim Jong-un's mansions impossible to obtain. And it's growing on.
How many does he have?
What if the White House belonged to the U.S. president as his or her own private property? Or if the president could build exactly the same building at public expense anywhere in the country? A pretty
That'd be
interesting
awesome.
picture emerges.
That'd be
this
fucked
picture is
anymore.
reality for North Koreans. Even though Kim Jong-un remains one of the most protected and secretive leaders in the world, we've still learned something about his expensive
Okay.
habits. For example, it's known that the
Right
current
now it's
leader of
48
North Korea, Kim Kim Jong-un has a personal luxury airplane. It's an outdated model, an old Soviet IL-62, but
Those were good
interior
planes.
is very
The IL-60, that plane, that model, the model he has is a good plane.
Panels, leather furniture complete with ivory
I mean,
upholstery,
some of the planes the Soviet Union used to build are pretty good planes still.
crystals. According to some estimates, the interior of the aircraft must have cost around $1 million, and this is including the fact that the plane is so outdated that they're not used by any other countries. Curiously, the North Korean's personal plane was only sighted once he'd assumed the throne, and by that we mean became head of state. But this wasn't because of any restraint imposed by his father. Kim Jong-il was just afraid of flying and preferred to travel by train.
I believe that. I'm the same way.
Aircraft may seem a little stereotypical for a North Korean, but in fact, Kim Jong-un is fully aware of Western VIP-level vehicles. For example, he owns a representative yacht from Princess Yachts International. The length of the ship is 95 feet or 29 meters and costs $7 million.
Yeah.
This is less than Trump's yacht called the Trump Princess, which was sold to Saudi Prince Al Walid for $19 million. Yet, for some reason, Kim Jong-un won't part with his ship. Perhaps it has incredible modern protection. After all, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. What's curious is that North Korea, due to its violation of many international laws, suffers from sanctions from the UN and other organizations. One of these sanctions prohibits the sale of yachts, sports cars, and other luxury goods in the country. But, of course, that didn't stop Kim Jong-un. But what about celebrities? Kim Jong-un loves them and is an ardent basketball fan, even inviting NBA star Dennis Rodman to visit him. The athlete personally came to visit the leader of North Korea and recalled that he went with him on yet another ship. According to the former basketball star, it was a cross between a ferry and a Disney cruise ship. Alas, he didn't name the ship, but told the press that the ship was nearly 200 feet or 68 meters long. That's more than half the length of a football field. But of course, this list of the luxurious and crazy from Kim Jong-un's collection isn't limited to just the man-made.
And the smoke.
We're talking about the owner of an entire country, even if it is one of the poorest in the world. Such a person will have a lot. For example, a personal island. We would perhaps
Bomb
have
Island.
known about this if not for Dennis Rodman. The basketball player first visited Kim Jong-un in 2013 and since then has become friends with the dictator, sailing together on that huge yacht to a mysterious